All right, it's a VirginiaPreps.com Zoomcast here on this May afternoon. We are chatting with you with one of the top prospects in the state of Virginia from the class of 2022. He had a junior season to remember in both football and basketball, part of the Stonebridge Bulldogs state championship crew. Pleased to be joined by Jacob Thomas. And listen to these numbers, folks. If you haven't seen his SportsCenter #1 play from this past weekend, my gosh, 4 pick sixes this year, 4 punt returns for touchdowns. He had 975 all-purpose yards, and he didn't really play a whole lot of offense. That's mostly defense and special teams now. 20 tackles, 6 picks, 11 pass breakups to go with the 9 catches for 132 yards and a score. He also punted twice for 93 yards with a long of 52. First state title for the Bulldogs since 2007, the 3rd and 16 play for the Ages in OT against Highland Springs. And oh, by the way, played some hoops as well, 13.8 points per game, tops on the team there. 8.6 rebounds. Shame on you being second, not number 1 on the team in that. 6.8 assists and 2.2 steals per game, leading the Bulldogs along with his 6 double-doubles and a triple-double as they rallied from 18 down in February to beat Green Run in that state championship. They beat Highland Springs in the football championship. We say hello to Jacob Thomas. Jacob, first of all, how's life treating you on this? We talk on it is a Thursday, right?
Yeah, life's pretty good, honestly. Yeah, couldn't get any worse.
Sure. A lot of athletes don't ever get a championship ring. You won 2 in a span of about 3 months. Tell me, is it still surreal in a way? Have you come down from cloud 9 of the unreal ending from last Saturday?
I think school kind of took me down from that. But yeah, it's definitely been surreal. People don't usually go to a state championship, but to win it twice is honestly crazy. Something you dream about as a kid. But yeah, it's just kind of wild just doing it in such a short span with this COVID year.
Yeah. And, given all the uncertainty, if you'll even play, and if we do play, is there going to be a postseason? How many games do we get in? Yet you win the state championship. And 2 of the more remarkable ways, with you playing such an enormous role in both of those championships, if you were writing like a movie, could you have scripted out a better junior year than this?
I don't think so. To, go to the state championship for basketball, score 27 points, my highest during the season with the highest amount of rebounds too. And then 3 months later, go to the state championship for football, make an unbelievable play. And yeah, I don't think you can script it any better.
3rd and 16 with a one-handed touchdown catch in overtime. We'll talk about this play, I'm sure, until the day you die and I die. I mean, you practice these one-handed catches all the time, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But give me your thought as you guys are about to score. You get the ball after they kick a field goal in overtime. All right, you're down at the goal line. Then a penalty pushes you back. Kind of give me through, I don't know if you can disclose what was called, and then take me through the play as it snapped, the ball in the air, and then what goes through your mind as you catch it and jubilation busts out and craziness busts out.
So after the penalty happened, they kind of yelled my name. So I went over there. He told me, he said, all right, just go there. We're kind of going to use you as a decoy. Just run the route. And Billy told me to go across the end zone. Obviously, that's not what I did. So when the play started, I saw that the corner was, playing more inside. So I decided not to take it across the end zone, and I took it backside. And I guess Billy saw me put my hand up. And so he decided to throw it up. And kind of when the ball was in the air, I was, hand fighting with Damon Harmon, the corner. And the ball kind of, slowed down. I guess time slowed down. And when I caught it, I guess I didn't realize when I caught it because everyone started rushing the field. I threw the ball in the air. My friend, Ty Felton, he jumped up with me, and it was just a crazy moment.
Yeah, that might have ordinarily been Ty on the call, except he didn't play this year. He enrolled early to Maryland there at wide receiver for you guys, and he was a stud player for you guys in the Bulldogs uniform. And it was a new definition to the dog pile because that's what it was for you guys. SportsCenter, you make top 10. Tell me about this. You get that moment and you win. What's the first thing that goes through your mind as the celebration begins? Are you thinking about your teammates, your coaches? What's in your brain there as that happens?
I kind of wanted to go see my mom and just give her a hug because I knew either my mom or my dad was going to be crying or something like that. But it was just honestly for the seniors. Seeing the seniors' faces after we won, most of them crying, honestly, just giving me hugs. That's just the best feeling in the world.
when did it kind of hit you like, wow, this is bigger than just an ordinary championship win and a state championship? I mean, and how did you find out about the SportsCenter #1 play on Top 10? Did someone send it to you, or were you watching SportsCenter and you go, oh my gosh, that's me, that's our game?
I guess to answer the first question, I didn't realize until my phone started blowing up with text messages, Instagram notifications, all that stuff. I got like, I think about 500 new followers in like about an hour. But the ESPN thing, I didn't notice it until I woke up the next morning. Someone texted me. I was like, yo, you're on SportsCenter. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they sent me the clip and I was like, #1. Like, that's just, it's honestly crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened this past weekend of sports, whether it was basketball or baseball or the Kentucky Derby, all kinds of things. So to be #1 is not ordinary anyways, just really impressive here on a May weekend, which is also strange with football. We'll dive into that. But looking back at it, Jacob, and I'm not sure you do this as a competitor, so I'm curious. It's very possible you don't win the game if you are unable to make that play, that catch on the pass from Billy Wiles. And as a competitor, does that cross your mind looking back now, or is it just, hey, that's a negative way of looking at it? That never enters my thought process because we're just playing the next play, the next down. What's kind of, as you look back at it now, like, wow, that was a really big deal because it's 4th and 16 if I don't catch this, and we might be kicking a field goal again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I always have faith in my kicker, but, you know, he had a little struggle through the game, missed 2 kicks. But, yeah, I always do think, you know, what if I didn't catch that? You know, my life wouldn't be the way it is now. I'm glad I did catch it, but, you know, what would happen if I didn't? I always think like that.
Well, it wasn't the only big play you made in the game. I think for some that haven't watched or were there, even the replay that's available on NFHS Network, is that you had an interception with about 6 minutes to go in regulation. They were driving with the game tied at 7 apiece, and you returned it. We'll talk about your returns as well with it. Got some good yardage out of the INT, although you didn't take it back to the house. And you guys put together a drive. Billy engineers that you guys get all the way down to the 1. And you miss a field goal there. Kind of what's the thought there is like, oh, no, not again, as you have to go to overtime with this team in Highland Springs, knowing just how good they are.
Yeah, before the interception happened, I think, was it Eli Mason that fumbled? So kind of the motivation, or I guess the
Momentum.
Momentum shifted towards their side. So the pick really helped us with our momentum. We drove down the field, you know, a 7-minute drive, got all the way to the 1, missed the kick, and it's just like another, you know, obstacle in our path. But we tried to get the fans back into it, and I think it helped with the crowd and our defense. You know, we've always relied on our defense this year, kind of giving us that little spark just to pull us forward. We held them to a field goal, and that really, you know, gave us the momentum to carry through.
Well, and they've got a ton of talented athletes, including a guy that you caught it against, and Damon Harmon, who's one of the very best defensive backs in all of America, going to Oklahoma. And not to go in depth perhaps on this, but there was some comments made the week before about we're going to show them what we're about, this being Highland Springs. We run the state. And listen, it's hard to argue. They've won 4 of the last 5 championships. Yeah. We do it big next week again. Hold me to it. One of the defenders for them said, how much motivation did that specific clip, which I'm sure was played during the week, serve for you all in game week? Be honest.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of, you know, we go down there, we're expected to lose. That's just the type of thing that goes on around here. So, you know, we kept playing the clip just to make sure that it wasn't going to be another Stonebridge team that goes there, has a great season, but loses in the state championship. So it was kind of just motivation just to get down there, play our hearts out, and leave everything on the field.
Yeah, I think it's almost like a hoping we can win this game against. And for some that don't realize this, and I'll probably delve into this with Coach Thompson down the road with one of these Zooms, like some of the teams Stonebridge has lost to were iconic level teams. I mean, Highland Springs had won 4 in a row, and Hampton with Tyrod Taylor, and Phoebus's teams, and Lake Taylor with Jalen Holmes. They weren't just teams that got there by fluke. And as you know, this is hard to get there regardless of who you play. The basketball, and we'll talk about this game a little bit too, how much confidence did that serve? I mean, granted, I think you're one of, if not the only guy, one of the only guys on the basketball team that played football as well, but it kind of had to give a little bit of a boost to morale in the school. Like, hey, we just did something that doesn't happen very often. Winning a championship is one thing, but to do it coming from 18 down is something else.
It definitely gave me a little bit more confidence going in there. I knew what it was going to take to win in that football game. Going both ways like that is exhausting, but it's something you had to do. So you just suck it up. It's the last game of the season. You just make sure you're good on all cylinders. Definitely winning the state championship for basketball down 18 like that is just crazy. We should have never won, honestly, but it happens. And with football, I knew it was going to be a defensive battle, so it was going to be brutal on both sides, and I'm glad we pulled it out.
I'll get back to the football game, talking about the basketball game, because looking at and calling that game, I mean, Green Run came out of the blocks on fire. I mean, they could not miss. Was it 38 in the first quarter? They had 50 for a half, and I think they finished up with the second most points ever in a loss in a state championship game. And then you guys kind of flipped the script in the second half. I mean, when you were kind of going into the game and as the game was unfolding early on, did you realize with those two guards, in particular, Jacob Cooper, Elijah Kennedy, like, man, this is a team, they won it last season, that was a cover year, but man, they could beat just about anybody, any division. And can that be demoralizing when you're down like that? How'd you guys hold it together as well?
Well, we watched them on film all week. We knew that they were good players, but when they came into the game and I think hit 5 threes out of 6, it's hard to keep your your hopes up. But our coach told us at halftime, we were only down, I think, 12 at halftime. He told us just to keep going. We have our rim on this hoop. They started missing some shots in the second half. We got our momentum with Cole hitting a couple big threes, Dylan in the fourth quarter. We just never got too down on ourselves. And our coach always told us, he was like, just keep fighting, just keep fighting, just keep fighting. And that's what we did.
Yeah, I think the resiliency has shined through for Stonebridge, you being kind of at the forefront of that, along with guys like you mentioned, such as Dylan Hundemark and Cole DeVito and hoops. And then how great were those defensive guys, the Martin brothers, Candler and Skyler, as well as, of course, some of the guys on offense like Billy Wiles and, Carter Sweezy and those guys up front of the line, and Eli Mason and others. And just go down the list of players that were all region level players and beyond. But going back to the football game for a second, we know what a great job Kent Kling has done for you guys in hoops. Only been there a couple of years, state championship off the bat. Mickey Thompson, he is a Hall of Fame level coach, I think, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others as well. I mean, how did it feel to get this one for Coach Thompson, knowing he's a guy that's had to hear about these tough defeats year after year, and I think it was his 300th win as well.
Yeah. It's great just to see him finally, come out on top. He's an amazing coach. We go in there sometimes just to talk with him. He's always in there in the coach's office. I mean, 24/7, just calling out plays, watching film, talking to college coaches is for us. He's just a great guy. And to see him, like I said, finally come out on top is just amazing.
That had to be a pretty special embrace. I think our photographer, Bob Lanham, got the picture of you and him hugging after the game. What was kind of, if you're allowed to share what was said there, was it like, let's go get another one, or what you're thinking, or he's thinking, I'm just glad we got this one? What do you mean? What was kind of exchanged there in those last couple of months there before you left the field?
He kind of just said, thank you for catching the ball. He was like, I don't know if I could have stomached another loss against one of the Southern teams. So I just think I'm hoping he stays, throughout my senior year and keep staying for Stonebridge football.
Sure. It's rare, Jacob, to be in the elite company of names such as Allen Iverson, Ronald Curry, Juan Thornhill. But I got asked after the game ended by coaches down this way, like, who else has done this as far as guys that won championships in both sports, earning all state level accolades? And I'll go ahead and say, you're going to make an all state team, whether it's Virginia Preps or VHSCA or whoever. I can just say it, what you did on defense and special teams of football to go what you did in basketball. But I mean, all went on to be pros. And I think they all won all state and all state championships in football and basketball their junior year. But for them to go on being pros, what's that mean just for your name to be in that kind of company? And is it even something you think about now or have ever thought about before?
I honestly haven't really thought about it. I know my sophomore year, I got second team all region for football, and for basketball, I didn't really get anything. So I was going into this year just kind of, trying to get film out there for college coaches. I was kind of just, for basketball, I was kind of just playing for fun. And it kind of came serious when we got it to regional championships and made it to states. But for football, my goal, was to make all state. And I feel like I accomplished that goal. But it's honestly surreal just hearing my name all over lists and stuff like that, and definitely in the Washington Post.
Yeah, it's great accomplishments all year long for you, and I think it's going to continue. Growing up, I mean, you guys at Stonebridge there in Ashburn are just like, what, 4 miles from the Washington football team headquarters. Did you grow up a fan of, I guess we can't say the Redskins anymore, but that NFL team or someone else? Who'd you grow up while rooting for as far as teams go?
I kind of grew up watching the Green Bay Packers. I really like Aaron Rodgers.
I bet you don't hope he doesn't get traded right about now, right?
Yeah, kind of nervous about it, but yeah, I grew up watching the Green Bay Packers after they won their Super Bowl in 2012, and I kind of stuck with them throughout.
Good deal. How about athletes? Anybody that you looked up to or idolized?
Um, I used to idolize LaDainian Tomlinson. I had a throwback jersey of him on the Chargers.
Nice. Powder blue or just the other kind of jersey?
Powder blue, yeah.
All right. I got a throwback, but it's not a powder blue one. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, and I imagine another guy that you didn't mention, but Jonathan Allen, who played at Stonebridge, now seen him in the NFL, is rather cool for you guys, knowing he's just only about maybe 7-8 years of that older than you guys. So
Yeah.
a couple more. We'll let you good try provide, and then we'll let you roll. We appreciate you doing this. Talking with Jacob Thomas, the multi-sport standout in football and basketball, who got himself some rings, not a ring, rings plural this year here on the Virginia Preps Zoomcast. To beat those teams that you did, as I mentioned, both unbeaten, Green Run in basketball, Highland Springs in football, from the famed area code 757-804. I mean, how much sweeter is it that you beat the best of the best, and now you guys are the best of the best, and it kind of silences any of the naysayers with this COVID year saying, well, it was an abbreviated season, it doesn't mean as much. I don't know if I can agree with that. I'm sure you guys don't.
Yeah. For basketball, we weren't supposed to go anywhere near the state championship. We went to the year losing a bunch of seniors from last year, kind of like a rebuild year, as you could say. But just going in, playing, our coach telling us to stick with it. Yeah, we always want everyone's best shot when we're playing them because that makes it that much sweeter. But to beat Green Run, a team that hasn't been beaten in so many years, it's just something that couldn't happen again, honestly. But for football, you know, like I said before, you know, we go down to the state championship, we're expected to lose. And when we play a great team like Highland Springs, we knew it was going to be a battle, but we always kind of prepared throughout the season because we know, I wouldn't say our division is not the worst, but, you know, it's not the best competition around here. So, you know, we always prepared during the season and have Highland in the back of our head, making sure that we're getting ready for them. And when we do play them, we were ready this time.
Yeah, indeed. And I happen to notice you got, is that a Texas Tech shirt you're wearing?
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Red Raiders. All right. And they had a guy not too long ago on the hoop side, I don't know about football, Mac McClung from Gate City, who was quite a baller. And you're a baller yourself. So let's talk some recruiting here. What's the update? I mean, do you have any offers to date? I'm sure this is going to change in the days and weeks and months to come as we post this interview, but who's in the picture right now? Any scholarship offers, and tell me who's talking to you at the moment.
Well, I have Morgan State, but I've been talking to Richmond. A bunch of coaches followed me after the game, but I've been talking to VT. Virginia is not as much, but JMU as well.
Okay. Did you have a dream school or two in mind, or do you have one now?
Growing up
here on camera, so
yeah, growing up it was UCLA, but now I would probably say UNC or VT.
Okay. What is it about the Heels and the Hokies you like?
Well, Eddie Mason kind of showed me what their campus is like and how they run things there because he did go to college there. And it's kind of just a homey feel, you know, you want to go somewhere where you feel where you're at home. And for Virginia Tech, I grew up going to football games there. So I love the atmosphere. I love the people around there. So, yeah.
Okay. And you are a multi-sport standout in football and basketball, though we want to mention that soccer was, I think, one of your best sports as a youth, was it not?
Yeah, it was.
College, I anticipate you want to play football. I don't want to speak for you, but is that kind of your thought right now?
Yeah, football.
Defensive backs, what they're talking with you with, or you don't know yet at the moment?
I mean, when I get to college, I'll play whatever they need me to. But right now I'm getting recruited as free safety.
Sure. What is it? I mean, we see, I mean, just turn your highlight tape. I'm going to answer this question myself here. It makes plays and plays in the clutch and in crunch time. But what is it you think you can bring to a school that separates you as an all-around athlete? What are the things that your traits and characteristics that you think make you such a unique player?
I definitely lead by example. I don't always use my voice, but whenever I get on the field, I make sure that they know I'm a leader. Definitely, I make plays under pressure. I'm very tough and gritty when it comes to it. I'll go out there and do whatever you need me to do. Yeah, and I'm also just a team player. I'll do whatever is best for the team.
Sure. Well, good deal. And last on the recruiting front, before we finish up with the final question before the rapid fire here, you got some visit. I mean, now with the COVID starting to get, out of this, hopefully with everybody getting more vaccines and there's talk of maybe even a mask mandate being lifted within the next month or two. Do you have some, plans in place as far as you're going to go check out some schools here in the summertime, or what's kind of the outlook?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down to VT for a visit and ODU, but other than that, I don't really have anything. Yeah.
Probably glad that we're going to be getting past some of the abnormal parts that we've dealt with. I think we all are, whether we're an athlete, we're a media person, coach, you name it. Now this fall, it's going to be right around here before we know it. I mean, it's just a few months away. It's a very short downtime for you, or if you will, a quick turnaround. I've heard some whispers. I know the Bulldogs graduate 23 seniors. You guys aren't going to reload. Not going to rebuild. You're going to reload there, obviously. You're among 4 of the all-region first-team players back. I'm hearing some whispers, maybe some quarterback. Is that potentially true, or can you not confirm or deny those accusations, if you will?
I won't say anything, but if I do line up at quarterback, then I do,
Gotcha. You wouldn't mind it is kind of what I'm gathering. Yeah. You can score. Yeah. Add to your touchdown total, right?
Most definitely.
Well, I'm looking forward to what's in store for your future. I think you got a bright future ahead for you in multiple sports. And before we let you run, we appreciate you doing this Zoomcast with us. You ready to play some rapid fire? These are the real hard questions now.
Let's do it.
Here we go. For Jacob Thomas, class of 2022 champion on the gridiron and the hardwood from Stonebridge High School. Favorite TV show?
Oh gosh. Stranger Things.
Okay, I haven't gotten that one yet. I get a lot of Family Guy. I get a lot of Billy. I get all kinds of different shows. I haven't gotten that one yet. All right. Favorite movie?
Fast and Furious. I love their series.
Okay. You got one of the others that you like more than or just the entire series?
Probably their newer one, Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay. If someone were to play Jacob Thomas in a movie, who would you want it to be?
Oh gosh. It could be anyone.
Yeah, it can be anybody.
Chris Brown.
All right. I'll do the inverse of that. If Jacob Thomas could play anybody in a movie, who would it be?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. All right. He was good in Creed. And a lot of fans too. All right. Cookies or cream? Cookies or ice cream, I should say. Cookies or ice cream?
Ice cream.
All right. Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
See, these are the real quick ones. Toughest subject in school?
Oh, gosh. I would math or science probably. Yeah, math probably.
Harder to pull off, 4 pick sixes or 4 punt returns for touchdowns?
4 punt returns for touchdowns.
I thought you might say that given that you had more punt returns than picks, although you make them both look easy. So, all right. Yeah, are there going to be any kick returns in the offering this year, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. Hopefully.
All right. We'll see if we can talk to Coach Thompson about that, putting you on kickoff team. Although if you're playing quarterback, I'm not so sure he's going to want that, but we'll keep that under wraps if that's going to happen. Last 3 for you. Trade places with one person in the world. Who would you choose?
Gosh. I don't even know. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Okay. I like that one. Last 2. If you could teleport to one place in the world, where would you go?
I'd probably go to the beach right now. So California.
All right. I need to teleport so I can get from Virginia Beach to Nova and vice versa in different places quicker. Although sometimes watching these games online makes it feel like I'm doing that. And lastly, who does the best impersonation of Coach Thompson on the Stonebridge football team?
Oh, probably Billy Wiles, of course. Okay. Yeah.
We'll have to get that because now he doesn't have to run any more lap for him because he's headed down to Clemson and Coach Thompson can't get after him. So that'll be fun. Well, Jacob, it's been a real pleasure and a treat talking with you, watching you play. And I look forward to what's in store for you in your senior campaign at Stonebridge and beyond. Thank you so much. Best wishes to you. God bless. And we'll definitely keep in touch. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.